Hey everyone, welcome back to Beekeeping Like a Girl, or welcome to if you are new. I'm Natalie, and lately we have been super busy. We've been dealing with a lot of splits and queen grafting and swarming, but it's time to put some supers on. We have a little bit of a flow on right now. The black locust trees are in bloom, and the little white clover that is low to the ground is also in bloom, and sometimes we don't get those as well, because if it's been like really rainy or pretty cold, they don't bloom very well, but I'm kind of surprised we have, because it's been pretty rainy and pretty cold. But anyways, let's put some supers on this hive. I'm going to smoke them a little bit, and I've got my smoker all decked out with stickers. So before we put the supers on, I want to mention a couple things. So first, when you're putting a super on, you need to decide if they're even ready for it. So one way to decide if they are ready for a super is if they are just backfilling the frames with nectar and honey, then that's one way to know that they do. And like if the outer frames are just full of nectar, then you can go ahead and put a super on. So that's why we're going to put a super on today. And I'm going to go ahead and put the queen scooter on, but another thing you don't want to do is feed your bees while you have a super on, because if we are feeding sugar syrup while there's a super on, typically they will take the syrup and like store it in the frames. But if they store it in the supers and then we extract it, then we have funny honey, and we don't want funny honey, so that's why we do not feed the bees while there's a super on. But we do feed our nukes because we're wanting them to bulk up, and they do not have supers on. But anyways, let's go ahead and get started. I just put this queen excluder on, and this will help from letting the queen get to the top where the supers are, because if she does get up there, she'll lay in there and then we extract eggs, and we don't want that. So now let's go ahead and put the supers on. So when putting a super on, you can do drawn comb or foundation. So this is foundation. It's just, there's no comb on here. There might be a little layer of comb that's been melted on there or something. But then there's this, which is drawn comb, and this kind of drawn comb, they can start filling it with nectar right away. But the foundation, they have to build it out first, and then they can start putting stuff in there. So we've done a little bit of a mix just so they can do both. And we're gonna go ahead and put 2 supers on. And we're doing, hang on. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We're gonna do 9 frames instead of 10, so let me just take this one out. And I'm just gonna kind of separate them out a little bit. When we do 9 like this, and we kind of separate them out, you can see it gives this more space right here, so they can build the wax out pretty thick, and then it just gives us a little bit more honey and stuff. So we're doing 9. Let me just grab this other one. This is the same thing. There's a little bit of drawn comb and foundation. So we're putting 2 on, even though it's not our main flow. It's still a flow, and we're going to go ahead and just keep 2 on here. And if you start with 1 super, I would definitely come back a few days later and check to see if they're starting to fill it, and if they are, go ahead and put another super right on top. So let's go ahead and close them up. So these girls are super tall. This lid isn't on right, I don't think. Well, anyways, once we put another super on, it's going to be really tall, and I'm not going to be able to work it. So let's go ahead, though, and move on to this other hive. They have 2 supers on already, and I think it's been on for about a week or so. I'm going to go ahead and just pop the lid and see how they're doing with these supers, and see if they're starting to fill it or not. There's already a good amount of bees, like a good cluster over here. So they're either starting to just clean it, or they're actually starting to fill it. So let's see what it looks like. So there's actually a little bit of nectar in here already. Not a lot. You probably won't be able to see it. But let's just check one more frame because why not? Yeah, they're not really starting to fill it, but just a little bit. Now I'm more curious in the bottom box, so let's check that super. These have 10 frames in it actually, so oops, gonna take that out really quick. Well, it looks like they haven't even started to fill it yet. Oh, that one got me. Pull that right out. Alright, let's move on. So I'm just going to kind of separate the frames out a little bit. Just to give it a little bit more space in between. Just like that. And I haven't checked them yet, so let's go ahead and check these frames and see if they're starting to fill it a little bit. There's already a little bit of weight to it. Yeah, they are starting to fill it. I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but there is nectar down in there. There's kind of like a reflection. Let's go ahead and check another frame. It's pretty heavy actually, so that's good. It's nice to see that they're starting to fill it a little bit. This one's a little bit more full, but that's really exciting. Now, although it's really exciting to see that, we don't want to get too excited too fast because we still have to check the bottom box to see, or this box, to see if they have swarm cells. And if they do, then we're going to have to go through the whole hive, and it just kind of brings down the moment of happiness. So let's go ahead, check. All I'm going to do is give them a quick tip test and just see if they have any cells down there. That's got a little bit of weight to it. Just gonna give them a little bit of smoke. It actually doesn't look like they really have anything. There's like 3 cells or something. Looks like those might have been teared down a little while ago. But anyways, that looks pretty good. And because there's like literally nothing there, I'm not going to check the bottom box. We're just going to leave them. So I'm just going to put these back together. And I'm basically just going to put everything back together like it was. And we might go ahead and add another super. I don't know yet, just because they've started to fill the top one just a little bit. We might go ahead and put another one on. But that's pretty much it. And we're gonna probably just watch them for the next couple days and see if they start to fill it more. But we're basically just doing that to most of our hives. And yeah, that's it. Thanks for watching. Follow along for more bee adventures and be here next time on Beekeeping Like a Girl.